It's elevation time. The time has come for you to step into your power, the power to heal, transform, and inspire. Our world is in need of positive change, change that elevates and reinforces its very foundation, love. Love of self and love of humanity. Today is our first segment of Elevation Time. I have the pleasure of interviewing Sophia and David of the Twin Flame community. Sophia is a relationship expert and creator of the Twin Flame community. David is a counselor and life coach. Together, they help twin flames and soulmates to heal and progress through their spiritual journeys. We will have an intimate look into their twin flame union. All right. Hi, David and Sophia. Thank you so much for joining us today on Elevation Time. This is our first segment.
Yeah.
And as you know, David and Sophia, your community has been instrumental in changing the lives of a lot of people, me in particular. I have to say thank you for that. But along with that, a lot of the twin flames that are going through this journey, they have a lot of questions, especially concerning their masculine and some of the masculines who have awakened concerning their feminines. So David and Sophia, one of the questions that they had for us was, when did you discover that you had a connection? And how did you respond to that discovery? And did you deny it or run from it or embrace it? So whoever would like to start first.
I'll give my masculine aspect
Go
first.
on then. I don't even know when you.
No, I still feel like we felt it when we first met. I feel like when we first met at this coffee shop was our first date, and it was basically when we had our first coffee and our first sort of meeting that we. Well, I'm saying we. I felt that connection, but again, I guess because it was new to me, it's not something you really understand or you investigate or you research. You just have a feeling, Then later on, when I guess you start learning more about the path that you're on, is when you start looking more into what's happened in the past, if that makes sense. So it's not something that comes to realization at the time. I definitely had that feeling when we first met at the when we had coffee for the first time. Yeah, Starbucks. Had to be an American coffee.
Did you feel it was like? Because I felt the connection as what we didn't even talk about. This is the first time because we don't talk about it. I didn't even know that. It's the first time I know this, right? So I felt it then. I think I've told you.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it was. It was just a weird. Did you feel it was like gooey, loved up, or I just thought this is a weird connection?
I think there's not mean to say from a masculine. I think from my perspective, the whole gooey, it was affectionate. It was this. It was a feeling, but not something I neglect to.
Loved up or love or something.
No, because even if a male's in love, he's still reserved in the, I guess, the way that he portrays what you perceive as what love is. If you get what I mean, roses and flowers and chocolates on a daily basis is sometimes what romance. Yes.
Cups. Yeah, but I felt it first date, but I didn't know if it was love, but it was definitely something different. What was the extensions of the question? How did
you respond to that when you felt that connection? What was your response to it? Did you embrace it? Did you run from it? Or did you deny it? What did you do?
I think from my perspective, I'd say deny. So I'm not sure
Classic.
I'm not sure if we're looking at it from a masculine perspective to say that most masculines, most men in the situation would kind of go, okay, I can't feel like this at the beginning. You understand? I can't feel like this, like for the first meeting with somebody. So it might be a bit of a, not say intimidating feeling, but you know what I mean? It's a bit of a strange feeling for a masculine, I guess, sometimes when it's not being it wasn't the plan before you went there to have that feeling. Do you understand? It's like a sudden feeling that you've had. So I think it's quite impactful. But at the same time, because it's so impactful, it kind of does give you a bit of a, no, this is not right.
Well, thank you, David. So Sophia, what was that first meeting like for you?
Oh, well, it was just a strange, so I didn't, I don't know. It wasn't like the love. You sound like yours was more deeper. Mine, I was just like, because I was always spiritual and chatting with them lots. So I just thought I knew he was important.
But now
But
just you downplay it.
no, I'm not. You know you are, but I just didn't know. I just didn't. I don't know. I knew you were supposed to be in my life, but it wasn't like, oh, he's the one. I'm totally in love.
I'm not being, but I think
Second time.
I'm coming
we
from
met.
the same aspect. I feel like because it's a new feeling, it's not something you can identify and say it's because of this, because of this. It's the same as you. I felt that connection.
Yeah.
But from a masculine river to say,
You
you know, it
run.
was love, it was this, is maybe looking into it prematurely, like without kind of researching and sort of seeing how you feel about it.
Cool.
But yeah, clearly for you, it was nah. That's another date in a coffee shop with a masculine.
So David, did you have feelings of like your thoughts would always float to her, or did you
At times,
yeah.
At times, I don't feel. And again, I don't always want to answer like I'm answering for all masculines, because you understand like certain masculines will have a different. Yes, but not at the frequency, I guess, to sometimes how Sophia puts how she would necessarily think about me afterwards, like when more of the connection was sort of there. I think myself, I'm very good at being able to put things to one side and saying, look, I might miss this person, I might feel about this person, but I've got work to get on with and I've got things to do. And I don't mean that in a young man's sense, like, oh, I've got to go and party, but I mean, you understand, we're all adults here, we've got to make a living, we've got work to do, we have, you know, children to look after, like, it's like, get on with your business first, and then when the time's more free, I guess, we'd then be thinking about more about that connection and more about the feelings. But I think feminines confuse the amount that if they think about something a certain amount of time, that the masculine must do the identical sort of practice, which is not really the way that the universe works.
Right.
You know, we attract certain things, but it doesn't mean we get it identically back. If that makes sense. So for me, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think most of the questions are going to.
Yeah. Don't want to know.
That's why you're sitting there smiling, like, yes, I'll dodge a bullet here.
So for you, Sophia, so when you guys, you have that connection and you were like, what's going on here?
Oh, the first time when we met, I wasn't sure. The second time when he came back, it was fuckeries for me. It was hardcore the second time. Because the first time, like you said, I was like, oh, what is it? A bit weird. But then I think I said it on my channel that I got a reading. It wasn't a tarot reading, but someone said to me, and I was explaining I had this weird feeling. I got them off YouTube, and they said he was a karmic. So I was like, oh, I forget about him. But then I came when we met this. But you can't, innit? What?
No, continue. I like it.
You're a karmic. But when I went back the second time, when we met the second time round, that's when it was really hard, and I couldn't get him out of my mind. It was the push and pull was, it was, I call it the, I don't know if anyone's had it this hardcore as me, the anxiety death experience, because when I wasn't in communication with him, I had anxiety, but the anxiety wanted me, I felt, to kill myself. It was that bad when I wasn't in contact. And I was searching for help for this, whatever it was, but I couldn't find it. That's how I created the programs, because no one could help me. And I felt I wasn't going doctors and saying, listen, I'm with someone and all that kind of, no, weren't doing that. So that's how the second time was. Did you get that the second time? Cussing me about the first time.
No, I understand. Yeah.
See? It makes up for it, right?
What I'm saying is my karmic personality also made up for creating really for you. So
yeah.
I guess even with there's a positive to come
exactly,
out.
And mine was overboard. It's only actually stopped about 3 months ago, that anxiety death shit.
All language.
What? Erica knows, I swear.
Yeah,
everyone knows I swear, innit? Everyone knows I swear. You swear? What?
Well, you know, that leads us into our second question from the community is like, what prompted you, Sophia, to create the Twin Flame community?
I didn't really start it as a community. I don't know how long I've known you, for a while now, but it was Sophia Charles Tarot,
Oh, yes.
first of all. I kept having this dream about doing tarot cards, but my twin sister was doing tarot cards, but they were the playing cards. What's the playing one? Playing cards.
Mhm.
So I told my sister, I was ringing her saying, I'll keep having this funky ass dream saying to do tarot and you should go on YouTube. She was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I went into a charity shop and then the cards that I saw in the dream was in the shop. So I brought them. And first thing I was like, you know, is David in love with me? Of course. Classic, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely.
And like the two of cups came out, I was like, ooh, and then I chucked something else and I can't remember. So that's how I started the tarot, because I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to just see if I'm good at it. And someone on YouTube will say, you're fucking idiot, get off, you know. So I just put all the 12 star signs and started with the playing cards. Then after a few months, I got booked straight away. I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked. And then people started asking me more information, how I was staying with him. So that's how I started to get out. But the reason why I changed it from Sophia Charles Tarot to the community was kind of two things. First of all, everyone kept saying, Sophia, you're so amazing. And I didn't want everyone looking at me. And another reason was because I noticed when I was going to other twin flame tarot readers, there was loads of comments, but no one was engaging with each other. So I thought, well, I'll try to create something so it can kind of help each other and also take the what's the word of me?
Like your main message.
No, I didn't want them all looking at me because it was Sophia Charles before.
You didn't want the emphasis on you. You want
Emphasis.
the emphasis to be on sort of community.
Yeah, on the twin flame stuff. So that's how I started it. It was kind of weird, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's no excuse for not wanting to do the interview. It's shy.
Yeah, I don't like to. I know.
I make packages, but I will not speak to you.
Private, man. People think I want to go out there and do things. I'm like, I'm just loud, Larry. I mean, I want to, you know, be the main center of attention.
Understand that. So, David, you've been an instrumental part of the community. You provide counseling services for the twin flames who are feeling stuck and unsure about their journey. What inspired you to join Sophia in the twin flame community?
I think personally, for me, with the counselling and with that kind of line of work, this was something I was doing for many a year anyway. Just not specific identified that like a twin flame community, if that makes sense. So through work, I've been counselling people due to many sort of depressional needs, mental health difficulties, like through the NHS, etc. So it's been something that's always been there. And I guess I never really did it as much of a profession. But then I'm trying to remember how it even come to pass that I actually started doing it with you, because it came up in conversation, I remember one time between me and Sophia regarding, I think it was one of the clients that you were dealing with at the time.
It was email support. I got your ass onto email support. Yeah.
So when I started doing the email support, I think Sophia was, I think, surprised about the professionalism of answering the emails, swearing at people and using their feelings somewhat to, you know, difficult situations. So I think Sophia looked at that and sort of said, okay, you seem quite well at talking to people. So hence I then mentioned that this has been something that I've been doing for many a year. And then she kind of went, oh, really? Like, you've never told me that?
I don't think I knew you was doing it, but that's how I think you got it.
I think with me, like I said, it's been something I've done on and off, but it's been something that even when I've worked in like certain security jobs and private protection jobs, I feel like even still with the counselling skills, I've still used it in that profession. So I think it doesn't always matter what profession you're necessarily in. You can, you know, I think having empathy towards people and sort of understanding where they're coming from definitely helps a lot with the counselling, and not being too forceful about your opinion. Yes.
Opposites.
That we were talking today when we said that people in the community will think that you basically beat me around with a whip, and I just salute and say yes, boss, no problem.
I think they do think I'm more hardcore.
Oh,
actually, they don't. Actually,
Oh, they don't. You
no.
see, you bully me. They think.
No, and you want me to tell you why?
Why? Why?
When you two are together, Sophia is not in her masculine energy whatsoever.
See, I'm nice and gentle with
She
you.
is very. I'm not even. David, I'm not even kidding. It is so obvious when you are around. She is so. She's like me with my twin. When he's around, he completely knocks me into my feminine energy, which I'm never usually in. But to see that dynamic with you two, it's amazing.
So you're saying that you're quiet when you're with your twin?
Yeah, and sweeter.
We're gonna have to have an interview with them two. Like, we'll make up something for him, but I'd have to see that as a dynamic.
She's just like,
yeah, but it's very evident that it's very evident that
because there's more passion on the community.
Yeah,
I'm more like, you gotta do it with you.
Yeah,
yeah. She still cusses. Don't get it twisted. I still get lovely emails sometimes, slightly abusive messages. That's I think the main thing for the community to remember is that just because they see people on YouTube channels and people doing videos where they're happy on the outside, it doesn't mean that person isn't going through certain struggles themselves. And when they're explaining how they're feeling to you in a situation, it doesn't mean just because they're smiling, because it's YouTube, that they haven't dealt with that same situation. And I think it's important for people to remember that Sophia's good at what she does due to having that experience as well within it. And it's not just like researching and learning something, but actually having the feeling with the community as well, which I think is quite strong. It's just you don't always emphasize that, I think, while you're cussing people. But yes, I think it's a work in progress, and maybe we're sand down the rough edges a little bit like a diamond.
I can't do it.
But that was quite romantic.
Them lot, yeah, them not fine with me cussing.
Well, as long as they're fine with you cussing, then that's it. Your opinion doesn't matter. Don't write any comments at the bottom, please.
What advice would you give individuals who have just awakened to this journey? Run. A lot of them do. What advice if someone just awakened, they met their person, and they're like, what in the world is going on?
Right. That's for both of us.
Oh,
yes.
Lord.
I'll start with just the minor amount of saying, relax and stay calm. Yeah, we've all seen the t-shirts. I think that would be the best advice to start with your journey, and not panic and not overthink things. And it's generally, you'd know how I generally will counsel people, and I think most of the emphasis is always relaxing and try to have a thought process about what you're experiencing, and not let too much of the emotions control your thought processes and how you're feeling at the time.
With the cups, isn't it?
Yes, but cups need to realize that as much as they complain that the air signs think too much and too logical,
The masculine is
the cups need to realize that emotion doesn't always equal logic or fact. It sometimes can be human emotions that sometimes intertwine with other emotions. So it sometimes can be confusing. But,
well spoken by the masculine. Well spoken. Sophia, as the feminine, what would you?
I would say be careful who you. Well, first of all, don't fucking talk to your friends and family. Sorry. What? Blatant, because they don't get it. My twin sister she was married with her twin flame for 15 years. I didn't have a clue. And she tried to tell me, only till I met you.
I don't think, I mean, not even in a rude way. I don't think, because people have asked me through counselling, how am I going to explain this to friends and family? And sometimes I feel like the point is, does it concern them about the whole, in-depthness of a twin flame journey for your friends and family? Because even if you explain this connection to them, they're still going to look at it like, if your father, for example, doesn't believe in that sense of spirituality, then you explaining him what you perceive as like the truth, and this is what you're going to tell him. He's not necessarily going to look at you and think, oh yes, no, I really, you've really made me believe what you're talking about. He could just think that you're madly in love with the person, and you're looking at it at a different level. I think trying to convince people, either people are going to be willing to like accept something and learn it, or they're not. And I don't think your family have to understand everything to do with it. I think as long as they're respectful for your decisions in terms of what you're doing, and the path that you take, and they kind of try to support you in the best way that they can. Because people need to remember everyone's different, and you're trying to like force your opinion upon family members, and they're not always in the wrong if they have a different belief structure, or if they have a different look upon it. If they'd rather be, as you'd like to put it, your other community, the not the twin flame, soulmates, yes, the people that get cussed out more than anybody, they're entitled to be soulmates, but they're entitled to have that as the way that they perceive things. So it's like,
they don't get the twin flame, do they?
Whether they do or they don't is, I think, the specific point that I'm making is, as long as you understand your connection and your twin does, or that's your mission for your twin too, then that's what matters. It's like, you don't always have to ask mum and dad's permission to get married nowadays. I mean, back in the day, we were quite old-fashioned and it was like that. Nowadays, it's not, you know. People have many relationships that mum and fathers specifically do not agree with. And I'm sure that when my daughter comes to that time, I'll have lots of fun as well with
the on YouTube, the people on YouTube as well, make sure that they're actually genuine, they've got something to offer, they're with their person, that kind of thing. Because lots of people are fake. And I remember you done a video and you said you spent loads of money on make sure they're with someone. If it's tarot, make sure they know about things like Kabbalah, things like that. Really investigate. Don't just pay. Investigate first when you first know about the connection, I think. But I still say don't tell friends and family. They're nightmares.
I think it depends on the person. Some people will have very understanding mums and dads, and some people won't. You know, and that person will understand whether they feel like it's good for their mum and dad to listen, or family members to hear it or not. I mean, you know, you'd have to know them a bit more intrinsically to know, really. But yeah, so the word of advice is to stay calm, and when you do your research with some sense and intelligence, and not just emotion.
Okay. So with that, what advice would you guys give the runner and the chaser in the relationship? Particularly, David, for you, the runner, and for Sophia, for you, the chaser.
Like Tom and Jerry.
Well, I don't think we really had that. I kind of, do you think? I was chasing.
I feel like, I don't feel like Sophia's ever really chased, and I've ever massively run, even though I guess you may be a bit higher on the chasing and I'm a bit higher on the running side of things, because obviously history's tamed. It would generally be me to stop communication before you. So there's some factuality in it. But I think with us, it's just been relax and just realize that like I think most of the emphasis is that when we're talking about, you know, divine intervention and the universe and the way that the community works and the way that things work is, don't lose faith. And if it takes a week to communicate again, then wait the week, you know, and try to, I think that's something even I can say I learned from you is, when things aren't going right necessarily with your twin, then you need to kind of work on yourself, and it generally sort of makes you feel better throughout that time. I think if you go into depression and you just sort of only think about your twin and nothing about yourself or your own well-being, then you sort of start to fall down a slippery slope to where it becomes infatuation. Yeah, as in you can feel a connection with somebody, but to wreck your own life because it's not necessarily going in the direction that you want at that time, to me, doesn't make a lot of sense. But I understand the feeling of why somebody would, you know.
Yeah, because when I first was with you, I don't think I heard from you for days.
Yes.
Fucking hell, that was a nightmare.
I've counselled people where they told me that they met their twin 30 years later on and actually got together. So,
no.
As I've explained to other people, I'm not saying it will take 30 years, and I'm not saying it's going to take a couple of days. I think it's just having patience. And as long as you're sort of, I know we love to use this word. Well, I've actually never used it, but I feel like this is the best time to use it. As long as you're in your truth, okay, and you're living the life that is best perceived to be what you feel is the right way of doing things, then your twin will come in the time that you know that it will come. I mean, I don't feel like it's something you can rush. I feel like this is the best advice I can give to feminines in the sense of do not rush your masculine metal. Rushing me personally, or making me feel like I've been rushed or I'm being forced into a corner to make decisions through emotional reasons or whatever the reason is something that even if I believe that you're right in what you're telling me, I will deliberately fight against it because you're trying to force it upon me.
Wow.
I think most people are like that when someone's trying to force information. I think even some females, they do not like, for example, your partner can be correct, but it's just the way that he comes to speak to you and respect with you.
Right.
If your partner's, he can tell you something true, but if he's shouting at you when he's saying it to you, you're not necessarily going to take it like, oh no, you're right. No, the attitude will, affect you. So I think for feminines, and again, it could be both. You could get more masculines that are more feminine than the female, who acts more masculine. So it's not all about the sex of the person. I think it's more about the actual personality of the person.
Gotcha.
But yeah, try not to be too forceful on both sides, on either side.
It used to kill me when I couldn't talk with him, and I had that anxiety death. But then what I used to think about is I knew that we were supposed to be together, and also I thought, well, if we're gonna be there, and the time, I knew about quantum physics and time wasn't important. So I thought, if it takes me 5 years to nail this fuck up, I'll take 5 years.
Right.
You know what I mean?
As I said, it sounds just like Tom and Jerry.
Well,
He tried for many years.
Oh. Yeah, but that's what happened. I just let him do his thing. And also I got about that as well. When you didn't reply for 3-4 days, I didn't used to attack him or hound him. I used to say, hey, how's you? And then out. And
but see, 3 or 4 days to me is a minor amount of time.
See what I mean?
I feel like that's perception again. To me, 3 or 4 days is quite a normal amount of time not to necessarily speak to somebody.
That's a long time, David.
He killed me.
But it's good to hear this.
What we have a survey. Yeah, we'll have a survey afterwards. And I'd love to have some of the men try to back me up a little bit with the timescales. And even some of the females, I'd like to back me up with some of the timescales on
They're
what
like
we
5 minutes and we're looking at the phone.
Listen,
We're looking at the phone.
Why the answers?
A lot of my clients will say that it takes around a month to a few weeks before they're necessarily going to start to feel overly out of control of the situation. I don't think anyone says to me after 1 day or 2 days, no, that's it, they go nuts.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's not true.
Especially in the beginning of the journey, it's absolutely
nuts.
Wait, we'll do some reversal of questioning here. So for Erica,
Oh my God.
for you specifically, how long would it take you to feel the same way then?
Probably before maybe 3 hours.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, 3 minutes.
So I'm never going to get Erica's never going to agree with me when she's on 3 hours. I need to find someone who starts from 3 weeks and we can.
Oh, 3 weeks, Oh God, it killed me.
Yeah.
How could he not reply?
Wait, but here's a better way because that's why I like to see different opinions, because I think some people will be more like Erica, so I think it's good to have Erica's opinion as well as mine and yours and everyone else's. What for you, Erica? What helped that? What was the what's helped that from 3 hours to what is it nowadays from 3 hours? Or is it still 3 hours that you just put on a break?
I'm going on 2 weeks now, so because I've healed. I'm not healed. I don't think you're ever healed. I think you're in a state of healing. But as I've done Sophia's program, I'm more involved in other things. I'm learning about my planet, my starseed. I don't have the pull like I had. Not that I don't want it. Don't get me wrong. But I don't have that maddening, crazy pull that I had in the beginning because I'm more centered. I do meditation. I go back over my inner child work from Sophia's program. Also doing the support groups with the other twins. That keeps me.
A lot of them talk about you, by the way. Yes, I'm not going to mention names, okay, because it's confidential. But yes, a lot of like nearly everyone I counsel actually even will tell me, like, yes, I'm going to speak to Erica at some point.
Yeah.
And I think, why don't Erica do the counselling? I'm just saying.
That's awesome.
But yes, you definitely have a big fan base. I'll give you that much for sure.
That's pretty cool. Thank you, David. But you guys have been instrumental in my journey. I mean, I can't imagine. I don't know where I would be today had I not found this community, and that is the God's honest truth.
But the work is still
I cussed you, didn't I? Did I cuss you?
Bad. What the fuck are you doing? We were talking about that last night in the sport group.
Oh my God. But, you know, she wasn't doing the work.
See, that's why they invite you to
She was not doing the
that's why
work.
they invite you to the support group, because they want to call you and ask you, why did you keep saying that?
But see,
they
my
do the work.
background, I need someone like Sophia because I respond to her masculine energy. And if she came at me all sweetly, I probably, like, oh, okay. No.
In and out.
Yeah.
In and out.
I got it. When she comes that way, I heard her. And she's like, you're not fucking doing the work. I was like, oh, God. Yeah, she's right. And I did the work.
Here she is. Because of me cussing, swearing.
Yeah, that's true. We were just talking.
I tried to say then that when we had our calm council session, that wasn't me cussing and swearing at Erica.
Yeah. That's why we're good together.
There was still some forward progression into Erica's path, and it didn't require me to swear and cuss either.
I can't do that. It just comes out.
Oh, listen, I'm not telling you to change. Look, everybody's the way that they are, and I think that's the emphasis that we should really put on the community, that you can watch a channel and someone can say, look, masculines are like this. But I don't feel like you can, look at 1,000 masculines and say, oh yeah, as long as I do this, this, and this, I'm going to get all 1,000 of them in the place that I want them to be. I don't feel like things are like that. And people need to be a bit more open-minded when they, and I have to put it, realistic with what your expectations are compared to what the outcomes are as well. And I think, like I said, staying calm and being realistic with things definitely helps.
I'm busy, because you guys are busy over there with what you do. So when you're doing mission, us getting into mission is to keep our mind off them.
Right.
That's a fair point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm going to ask Erica, what keeps Erica busy?
She said she does a mission, does all this.
How many days a week do you do with the conversations, Erica, with your groups? Is it every day?
I do it twice every week, every other week. And I do Twin Talk every Thursday. I answer emails. I'm starting, and I'm creating something off to the side here, which I'll talk to you guys after we get off this. And just trying to go deeper, get better, and help more people.
Amazing. Well, you've already done that. So, pat yourself on the back already. It's not like something that you're working towards. You're already doing it. There's more people, I guess. But no, amazing. We'll get more used to the technology nowadays with these kind of video meetings. And because I think we should be honest, because I like it. Like, you can always cut these videos and you can make them look pretty, and you can add special effects to get the emphasis to people. But just so everybody knows, even the people that started the community were trying to find the mic button to even be able to speak to Erica now. Okay. And what did we use? We used patience.
Oh my God, patience.
And Erica had to use a lot of patience. You can see that she's trying to do charades and point in the corner.
I know the audio. Yeah, we're not very well. We should be. But,
I think people need some laughter as well.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we can overlook at the emotions and everything else, and sometimes you just need to relax, just have fun with your twin, or just have fun in your life. Do stuff that makes you happy. Childlike self.
Yes.
From an air sign though, with some logic behind it, so it's perfect.
Yeah. But I must say, the healing is the key. You have to do the work, because you got to go deep. Yes, you do. You have to do the work.
Do you cuss people, Erica?
What?
I'm curious. Now I'm curious. I'm actually curious if the same outcome.
I curse occasionally for emphasis. Yes. No, I don't curse.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Well, that's my job then. It's only one of me. I only need one of me.
I'm just curious. I like to understand everyone's perspective of things.
But the people that are going to be drawn to Sophia are the people that need to hear her message. And if you don't want anyone to drain your resource, so if her being direct causes people to go away, then great, because you didn't want to deal with that energy anyway. You just want the people to come towards you that's going to do the work and then grow.
No, I agree. I don't think it's sort of like you said, it's a right and wrong. I do think some people that do this kind of work will attract certain types of people, and obviously we attract other types of characters, and that's why I think the more people the better. For example, you can get 8 tarot readers, and it's not to say that one tarot reader is better than the other tarot reader. It just means that people kind of have that better connection with certain people for whatever reason. from different walks of life, etc. You know, I come from more of an urban background, like a street background. So generally, when I see like a ghetto gospel person, that would generally be someone who I'd probably feel more drawn to listen to than like a rich posh person in the corner talking politely. Yes, their truth.
Yeah,
So I think it's where you come from as well, and the environment that you've grown up in as well, to how you know, how you learn in your truth.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, David, as the masculine in this connection, have you started to explore your spirituality outside of your religious beliefs?
Yes.
So, if so, what
Actually, a
are
little.
you've gotten into?
So it's only been over the last. I think I've always looked at spirituality, like the universe-wise, over the last, I don't know, 5-6 years. But maybe that was before even our connection as well. So because of my religious aspects, we do look at the universe as quite like a strong physical proceed, as well as, you know, speaking about God and Jesus and all the rest of it. So I think from that, I've really looked into things, and I've actually, quite funny, actually started to learn to do tarot.
Oh,
Because
I'm making him.
yes,
wow.
I'm getting made to you, because
Because you
I'm not
can.
going to say it on a factual level. There's too many times in my life, for example, where I'm not going to always say that I can read the future. But deja vu is something that I've suffered from ever since I was a young kid. So there's been so many different instances where I felt or known something is going to happen in such a way that when it does happen, it's like a constant deja vu feeling all of the time, if that makes sense.
It does.
And I think it's only taken till recently, looking at even doing the tarot, to kind of see that, oh wow, like all these things that happened when I was younger obviously had some kind of connection to what's happening now. So I've actually experimented with the tarot, but I'll be honest with you, I need to learn more in regards of like the meanings and other different you know, points that, especially the clearing of the negative energy in the cards is difficult. Because I'm such a logical thinker as well, certain things will resonate with me, and certain things I look at you and go, like, this ain't Ghostbusters, okay? And I feel like people need to realize that a lot of masculines are sometimes you need to simplify the connections or the emotional connections that you're explaining to them. Sometimes you can sort of overwhelm people with like talking about a lot of different, you know, principles that they've never really heard about before. You know, they start thinking it's Lord of the Rings and Gandalf is.
I know, saying all that kind
Yeah.
of 5D, Starseeds Blade, all this, I get it. But what you can do, because I can read into people with the image reading, he can predict the future from that. So he'll know if they're like,
But it's not.
do it.
It's not exactly where it's. That's what I'm learning now. To try to focus on specific individuals or specific events. It's something that I feel like we just randomly happened, not something where I've looked at someone and thought, okay, I'd like to understand exactly what's going to happen in the future. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes they're just feelings that come. So at the moment, for me, it's more just trying to learn the feelings that come, and then try to sort of research to how I can control that energy a bit more. So watch this space. You're not the only one who's got ideas coming up, Erica, right? I'll talk to you about the side idea after, okay?
That's the great thing about this journey. There's so many things that you never imagined you would be involved in, and it's like the sky's the limit.
Everyone this week. There's so many people that I think that have said that they're going to try and make courses and make programs and make other principles as well. So I think it's amazing that people are actually putting the work in and doing their take on it. And I think, like we said, it's not about, you know, this person got 1,000 views and they got 300 views and that person's got 20 views. Even if you're a YouTube promoter, however you want to put it, and you're making your videos and making your channels, don't get disappointed that you only have 20 viewers, because imagine you change the life of 20 people. And I'm not trying to overzealous the effort, but if you change the life of even 10 of the 20 listeners that you had, you should feel proud of yourself. You know, you should feel like you're making a difference and not feel like, oh no, it has to be 2,000 and that person had 5,000. Listen, I've seen people with big views who are talking utter nonsense, okay, because they can sometimes sell things in a very like actionable way, okay, and put like an extreme heading or an extreme, like, it's basically clickbait for some people, you know, put a really extreme title, and people, oh, what's that about? Listen, if me and you wrote literally, David has fight with Sophia, and put it as a video, that would be your biggest selling video, because conflict sells. You understand me? Negative shows to people sometimes. And it's, basically, don't lose faith. No matter how many people that follow you and listen to you, just keep doing what your path is, and you know what the truth is. So I'm not going to stop using that word.
Okay.
Are you on YouTube, Erica?
Tarot, she's goddess Taruth, which is goddess truth. That's why I speak about. And Kabbalah is the book of truth, the book of life. So I say it on my channel.
Oh, I'm not. Yes, I understand. People need to learn to lighten up when it comes. Like we can have jovial conversation.
Yeah, I know. They don't. They see me as serious.
And we can say things.
Do the work. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, you can put like little special effects of fire in the background next time you're speaking to people. I think I might get a job in special effects to start doing Sophia's videos a bit better.
No. Hardcore. No. That you can do it on yours, mine, serious.
Yeah, I can't lie. If I ever did do the tarot reading, I think on my channel, I said to Sophia the other day that there might be some creativeness inside the videoing, with some characters and some other principles.
Would it be nice? Because most of us do it all professional.
I tell you what I would do for my tarot reading.
Oh my God.
And it would actually make me lose 1 million probably people on my community. But anyway, it would be, I'd love to play a different song every time I did a video as well.
Oh, that's good.
Because I love music. For me, it'd be a different reggae song every single week. So either you better be Jamaican or Rasta, because otherwise you're going to struggle with my videos.
Well, you got to hit everybody.
Well, okay, I would actually take.
Oh my God!
Take people can actually email me.
Let
me know.
It's not me.
Too many ideas. I told you.
Logic.
Air signs we cannot turn off the brain of thinking. It just keeps going. So.
I'm an Aquarius. Moon.
Oh.
Gangster.
I thought you was Taurus.
I'm a Taurus sun, Aquarius moon.
Oh.
See, now you lost me. That's why.
Oh yes. I don't tell him anything. I think because of the community, people think I tell you everything.
I believe that. Sometimes I have sessions and people expect a lot of spiritual explanations for myself. And sometimes, yes, I'm left wanting.
I tell you this, I find out more from you, but I don't talk to him about any of the twin flame
Well, maybe Erica's side business is going to help me out.
Yeah,
so
let's
watch
see. Yeah, let's see.
So David,
this is fun. We need to do this more often.
Exactly, and I love that that the community will get to see this side of you guys, truly. Because when she's with you, David, she's so sweet and soft. It's amazing. Beautiful.
See?
Yeah, listen, let me tell you something.
Oh no!
This is why I'm trying to explain it, right? That people keep having this perception, like, oh, when she's with you, she's all nice, and like,
I cuss him. I cuss him.
This is what happens. The microphone gets blocked, and people do this, and then people say, "Fucking shit, motherfucker."
I do.
As I said, don't let the persona fool you. Yeah, and likewise, and I think this is what I was telling Sophia again today, is I'm a professional person, and obviously if you're doing counselling with people, the whole idea of a counsellor is to be in the middle, like non-judgmental. So my thoughts and opinions aren't ever going to come across when I'm doing counselling sessions with people. I'm never going to start shouting at you to make changes, because that is not really what a counsellor is meant to be doing. You educating people and try to guide them forward, but my role specifically isn't one to force people. And I feel like, yes, my personality doesn't always come out, I guess, because I'm trying to be sort of professional and calm with people, which is why it'd be nice to do the tarot, because I think some of the humor, I'm quite humoristic. Yeah, I like humor. I feel like sometimes life can be taken far too seriously, and we need to have a bit of a laugh with it. And it's not to take away the validity of what people are saying or the seriousness of what people are saying. It's just like, look, sometimes you just need to laugh.
Right.
Do you understand? I remember times being back in the army, and you know, certain things were happening where you wouldn't necessarily think that you'd laugh about these things, right? But trust me, something about it helped a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, she's
true. Gory stuff too.
You see?
I remember you left a comment like Sergeant Baker to me.
Yeah.
Like I was Yeah,
You're-
something like that. Yes, sir. Something like that. I was like, what?
For them, it's Sergeant Major.
Erica?
For us, you'd be a Scottish drill instructor.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I think I said, yeah, I had a flashback to basic training. That's what it was.
Oh my
That's
God.
it. About okay. Yeah, flashback.
No, well, through your mission work, you've been able to connect with people from all walks of life who are on this twin flame journey. How has that impacted you individually?
You look like you're looking at Sophia from here, so I'm going to let you answer that. 'Cause she's kind of facing.
Oh, yeah.
looking that way.
Okay.
And then you're next, David. Go ahead, Sophia.
It's I suppose it's because I didn't have friends, so it's nice to have people who I actually started having more than just my twin sister.
Yeah, she talks a lot about you lot. Swear to God.
That's
Yeah,
all.
there's certain people I don't even know about, and she's say, yeah, this is my new best friend. I'm like, who? Yeah, she got 100 videos.
Yeah, I do. I like that part of it because I never really, and it didn't bother me, but it's nice. I understand the friend concept. But to me, it's also this meeting people like you. You say you're going more into Palladians. I would, star seeds, galactic. I'm like, wow, I'm connecting with like people who I feel properly home with. I like that part of it because you go down the street, they don't fucking know who you are. I can't say I'm doing tarot. So that's what I like. I'm talking to people who are not only a twin flame, but I like the galactic Palladian. That's.
I think for you, you can speak your truth. Again, we were talking about the truth now. I think you can speak the truth and know that people have a bigger mindset. People aren't small-minded. If you're going to have a community where people are speaking about spirituality, people are quite open-minded. Whereas if you said certain twin flames principles to the cashier at McDonald's, they might look at you and call the police. So
Exactly.
I feel like it's people's, like you said, thought processes.
Yeah, I like that.
I love it. I mean, I can't lie. I love speaking to people throughout the world. I think living in London anyway, people need to realise, and I'm not sure if people have visited London or they've been in London a lot, but London is massively multicultural. So for me, it's not anything different to sort of speak to people from different countries, different ethnic backgrounds, different religions, different principles. And I think it's amazing the fact that no matter what the background, that we've all had different upbringings or different cultures, or certain cultures will have a different way to look at things. I think we all still come together. I feel like we still always have that understanding with one another. And I love it. I can't lie. That's why I don't move from London. Don't get me wrong, I hate how busy it is in the city, but yeah, if I move to the countryside, can't really say that because we're on like YouTube.
Yeah.
But I'll be surrounded by only white people that will have a certain way of looking at life. But yeah. But man, next question.
Okay, so this is my final question, and this is one that a lot of people were interested in, and I had to consolidate this one. And it was, what are some of the challenges you have faced within your own connection to each other that you've been able to overcome?
I feel like we argue all the time, still. If you have to be honest about certain principles. I still think Sophia's expectations are at a certain level and mine are at a different level. So I still feel like even to this day, we're still playing, catch up, I guess, with one another on what the expectation is to what each one of us expects, for the future to happen, or how long it should take for certain things or the next step to happen. And I feel like for us, it's just trying to we have falling outs and then we stop talking, but then we generally speak a few days later on and try to have a bit more understanding to each other's point. And I think normally when we speak about our stuff, like Sophia loves to email me. Okay, I don't know. I have no idea what's wrong with this woman, but she will email. She won't email anyone else in the community because you seem like you will send videos like this to people, right? But me, I get paragraphs of emails getting cussed out, so I can keep it for as long as I like because it's all on this email. No, you just love to cuss out email.
So in the emails only, yeah.
Yes. So generally, I'm not sure if it's me as a masculine, me as an air sign, whatever it is, right? But I hate going back and forth with emails with people and reading like I'm reading a storybook, and it takes one conversation can take me and you 8 days. Understand? I will just pick up the phone and call her and say, look, what the no, what's this about? You can't call me. You should email me back. So we do, I think, the same kind of problems. And like everyone else, we try to communicate afterwards and try to speak to each other about each other's minds, you know, how we're looking at it. And I think generally it works itself out. Yeah, but the creators of the the creator of the of the community isn't necessarily not, you know, her shit does stink.
Right, it's a part of the journey. I mean, this is the great thing about this community, that when you're able to be vulnerable and share those things like that, it's so real, and it helps the community to understand that it's not a perfect journey. No matter where you are in the journey, you still are trying to be 5D in a 3D environment. And there's
I think again, you know, when people talk about the 3D and the 5D, and like I said, I'm not going to make it pretending that I'm massively, you know, spiritually gifted at the knowledge of certain factualities. But I think there's a balance between the 5D and the 3D. I think people need to sometimes have that fine balance where some people will go too much into the 5D and say, look, I don't need to give a shit about any of that 3D stuff because, you know, I'm in the fucking clouds. So I'm just going to do what I'm doing, and like none of this like everyday life stuff matters. And then you have other people that are far too 3D and they don't ever want to open their mind to like bigger and better prospects, and they just sort of hold themselves. So I think there's a balance between looking at both the physical and the mental, and sort of bringing them together. And as you know, I love balance. Everything about balance, being a Libra. By the way, anyone listening, you're a Libra?
Oh my God. Apparently, you're always searching for balance. You don't get balance.
That's true. That's why we're scales, isn't it?
Oh my God.
How many scales do you see in your kitchen that are always balanced?
Yeah, you're searching for balance.
Always one side.
I forgot the question.
Sorry.
What was
now we're going to make Erica repeat it.
Okay, it said that what are some of the challenges you guys have faced in your connection that you've been able to overcome?
See, you know,
overcome.
Yeah, we're cussing people about waffling. All we're doing is waffling. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Overcome. So you know what kind of problems
or not that you're working through. I
think it's something we spoke about before. So generally speaking, and this is the mad thing, when we're together, we don't really have many arguments, and there's no really problems. I think it's when I then go about my 3D life and 3D work and 3D, you know, responsibilities.
Where the fuck are you?
And that's when. That's generally when there's a reaction.
Get right here.
Yeah. So when Sophia's telling you online, look, guys, just relax and everything will work out, and you're you know, don't call your children and custom, because she does it.
No,
you understand? She does it.
Email you.
Yes, she emails me, but I can imagine her still saying it out of her mouth. That's how vivid the words are all of a sudden. She pretends she can't email. That's what makes me laugh as well. You tell these guys you can't email because you know, and you have to think too much about it. And with me, fucking stories long of cuss.
You guys are awesome. This is beautiful.
It is your masculine.
This is beautiful. This vulnerability and you guys sharing it, I can't tell you how amazing that is, because we know that this is real, and you guys are going through the same challenges that we have, maybe in a different level or down the road further, but still there are challenges that you guys are working through. That's amazing.
Yeah,
they're trying. I think like people need to just work on themselves and not. Sometimes people like to compete. Do you understand? People like to sort of say he has it worse than me and she has it worse than me, and I think it's just stay in your own life and just kind of worry about what the challenge is, like you said, for you, and just sort of stay on that path. Don't make it a competition, and I think don't compare yourself to others either. Other people will look at someone else's life and say, oh, you know, they've got exactly what I think that I want. So, you know, that generally causes more negative in your life as well. So I think it's just being realistic, but obviously having that hope that things will get better. You know, don't be overly realistic to where you're when opportunities are coming, you're just putting them down. Like, I think you need to have some hope. You definitely need to get out of your comfort zone. I hate videos. It might not look like it, right? But I hate videos. Okay, I'm not a big. That's why when we were first doing the counselling, and Sophia was like, "Yeah, you should do it in terms of video support." And I cut that shit off straight away. Okay, that shit got knocked off. And I said, "No,
not doing that."
I speak to people, right? But then it starts to have a persona, and no disrespect to anyone that does the YouTube videos, and it starts to become a persona of oh, do I need to dress up? Like, look, I'm a Rasta, yeah? My hair is messed up already. I didn't comb it. I didn't do nothing special with it. It's just there. I just tied it up.
But you're in your truth, David. You're in your truth, right?
See, I need to come up with a different word for me, you know?
I don't know where that came from.
The truth part, it's because I hear it so many times from people, I feel like it's like a cliche.
Yeah,
It's like,
doing that.
Erica, we're talking, you need to come up with a different word for me, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
What, in the truth?
Yeah, I'm not in my truth. I'm in myself.
Oh my God.
That sounds a bit...
Let's see what Erica's got to. So what's your plan of attack, Erica? What are you doing?
Oh,
Yeah, what you did, Erica?
you know,
We're going to question you up now.
Yeah,
it's so
we got our pen and paper.
well, it's so exciting, but I do want to talk to you guys, you know, outside of this, because I'm going to announce.
No, you're not getting away from the
He's
interview.
telling us.
Okay, you ready? Okay, David, you have inspired me so that I want to do coaching.
Amazing.
Oh.
Perfect.
So I've found some twin flames who actually offer certifications in coaching.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
Yes.
Oh.
And I wanted to take it from people who understand the dynamic. I didn't just want to be like a, you know, just a coach. I just wanted to people that really understand the dynamic and how to cut through a lot of things that we tell ourselves that we're playing this story through our minds, and that's our truth.
Mm-hmm.
And we could cut through that. Now, I have started about three weeks ago checking out what they were doing. Now, I have to tell you, Sophia, and I tell everybody in my group and Twin Talk, the first session I did with these individuals, had I not done your program, I would have not been able to continue.
Oh.
They blew me out of the water on the first meeting. And I was like, oh my God, had I not, you know, cleared, I would not have been able to want to go further and deeper into finding out about why I have this vision of my mother, why I keep playing the same song. And
how were they on your first time then? What were they like?
they ask 11 questions, and they try to connect the dots based on the questions that they're asking. I think the techniques that they have would be amazing for our community, but
yeah,
you have to go through your first two programs, because there's no need in doing it if you haven't found out what it is to be a twin flame, the push, the pull, if you don't have that base, and then understanding yourself, the abuse, understanding healing, understanding forgiveness, self-mastery. If you don't have a foundation, there's no point in going deeper, because I was like, man, I told him, I was like, dude, had I not been doing my mentors program, I wouldn't be able to do this. There's no way, because I would not have been in my truth. Because as I strip away the layers and the negativity, and I get down to the nitty gritty of just wanting to be a better person and to have a better quality of life, that's what it boils down to. My twin no longer became a part, not just the main attraction, but now it's like, hey, what's going on with me? I want to get to the root of me, so that I have the flow of that, as above, so below, as within, so without, and it's a free flow. Yes.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
No,
So,
wow.
and again, you've inspired me twice, David. The Twin Flame Peer Support Group. You've inspired me.
That was
That was him.
He mentioned it. Yeah.
But in all fairness, and this is something we should be honest about it, like, all of that was your own idea. Listen, everything that you've done is your own concept, and things that you spoke to me about. And listen, all I've ever done is just say, look, you go and do it. But I can't really take a lot of responsibility for, you know, the success that you've been having, because it's more because that you've put the work in, and you've obviously put the time in. I mean, look, you're making the support groups, etc. I've done nothing to do with any of that kind of principle. You understand? So you really should just basically thank yourself, you know. And next time, you people on the E-spot, say thank to Erica when she's there trying to tell you something.
Nat, this is normal. This is normal. But that's what listen.
I do speak my opinion sometimes.
All the time. But that's why I want him up. That's why I want you up on here, because they only get like my opinion. They need to get more of the masculine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you see the other side of what it's like now, and it's not just from, because there's not a lot of you up there, but
Right.
also about the community part of it. That's what I didn't like at the beginning, like how you said, oh, you're mentor. I don't feel like a mentor. I just feel like I'm a part of the, like someone in that community. You see, like how you said it correctly.
mentor.
I feel
Erica's
like, yeah,
her part.
yeah,
I'm my
you-
part. You're your
yeah,
part.
yeah.
I
We all
don't
have a
feel,
different part.
yeah.
But we need Erica to be doing this, otherwise, you get me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all helping each other. Don't
Yeah.
feel any different than
I had to help you to help me, to then help you back again. You get me? So that's the way
Yeah.
we're running.
I
it,
helped her. She's helping me. It's like that. That's what I wanted to create, but I didn't want to
And
be the
now
main
I'm going to make a
focus.
tally chart and see how many times I've helped Erica and how many times I've helped her.
Yeah.
Right? I'm winning.
Oh yeah, who said that they were going to do something? And we said,
Really?
yeah,
Someone actually said that they were going to do that.
it was a
And I
plan,
was
wasn't
actually
it?
thinking of me. Okay.
No, remember when she said, yeah,
Nothing. No comment to that bit.
yeah. So yeah.
But
So yeah, no, definitely do that. And that's what I want everyone to kind of, hopefully, all help each other. That's what it's about, really, because no one really.
But I like the counselling idea. I think that would be amazing for you. I definitely think you've got the patience to counsel with people.
oh, thank you, David.
I think that's more the principle people need to remember. And also I think for you is remember not to take too much on. You know, understand if you can be empathetic, but start to realize that some people will kind of say, I'll try to counsel 5 people a day. Realize that you're taking on the people's emotion as well as when you're counseling.
Gotcha.
So you'll get depressed if you counseled, say, like 5 people a day who are suffering from depression, for example. You'd be depressed by the end of the week.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that. I think that's what we talked about during our session when you asked me did I ever think about counseling.
Yeah.
I said, being an empath, I think I take on, I might.
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad.
Being the empath is good and bad. You understand me? The positive is that you can truly understand where they're coming from, and that's what people really need with the counselling. But at the same time, you need to kind of block your own heart and your own self and realize that everyone else's problems ain't necessarily yours. But no, I think Erica will do very well.
Well, thank you, David. I appreciate that.
But don't take too much business though, yeah, because we've got to make a living, and that man's got children.
Here's the cool thing. It's like an extension of the community. More people can be through all of our efforts. Like JoJo told me last night during our support group that she's making a program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That is amazing.
I know.
That is amazing. It's just a creativity when you're removing all of this negativity, you're healing. We've gone through your programs, and it's like the sky opens. And it's amazing. It's the downloads that we're getting. Thank you, Sophia and David. I'm sorry, guys, but you guys have been instrumental in changing people's lives. The things that we have internalized and learned have enabled us to expand.
But that's what I was saying, because there's a aspect out there that you have to kind of hold back. But because I give, and I say to you, look, I give my program for you lot to sell, it's kind of so you can see that there's no like competition in life. Like you would help someone who David can't help in the counseling. So two counselors, there's no competition. That's why I said to give my program in the first place, because I know I swear and I'm blatant, but they might go to you. Do you see what I mean? And listen to you. But my program is for all humanity, not just twin flames, for soulmates. So I needed to give it out and know that there's no competition, so that you lot can learn that, so you can create your own programs. So we help everybody, not you just making your own and staying over there. That was the intention which I had with creating this. That's what, and I'm glad it's growing. Yeah, JoJo did say she's doing it in a child's one. Amazing.
It was.
Do we ever have that part where we do shout outs?
What shout? I know. Who are you shouting out? Who are you shouting?
We have to shout everybody in. Amber,
I know.
Lily, Jojo, Erica, Noel is
Tim's little one, Jonathan. Tim just had a little one.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
I know. Did you see it on? It's on my community thing.
Yes.
I'm behind. And yeah, I get cussed out all the time for being behind and not but
because you don't look at like the YouTube.
Yeah, that's because you know, man's working full time and doing a million other escapades, and, you know, yeah.
Yeah. I'll shout out
3D
to
mode is very true, and it does hit you a lot. Yeah, it does. It doesn't help the fight.
That's the only time I would say, because I never say the middle ground, but I get the middle ground with 5D and freedom.
Yeah.
Everything else, you make the choice.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Oh, listen, I'm opinionated. Don't get me twisted. Like, if I believe something, trust me, I explain it. I just think when I'm counselling people, my opinion doesn't matter. My personal opinion. You know what I mean? When you're counselling somebody, your personal belief, your personal opinion makes no difference on that person. You really need to take them for them, and you know how they sort of perceive things as well. Same way, like, man's a Rasta, but you never hear me ever have a council session ever speaking really about Rastafari, any religious principles.
No, never.
Because it's not pertinent to the person. It doesn't make no sense to them. So, yeah.
Cool.
I'm in my truth.
Please.
Are you in yours? You should do that like one of them old school posters.
I should start off with instead of hi, I'm
Do you remember them old school posters? I swear it's an American guy.
Oh
like when they wanted people to join up for war, and they're like, "We need you."
Uncle Sam.
We've done the question.
That's the one. There we go. See, Erica knows the thing. Yeah, don't get it twisted. Yes. See, if I didn't have Erica right there, that would have just got cussed off. So there you go. I had to have Erica to.
Yeah, I know to back
me. Yes. Yes, Erica, my girl. Everyone book Erica.
Oh my
I
God.
understand me. She's amazing.
Thank you.
Try to book David on a 50% sometimes here and there, but definitely book Erica. All right.
Yeah, I'll be booking you, Sophia, right after I finish this.
What, an update?
Yes, ma'am. It's time.
Who needs an update where we can clearly see how well you're doing on this?
Yeah, I can see.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
can see.
me. It's not me. I'm trying to see.
Well, I can tell you that. Just get a shotgun and some rope, and yeah.
Oh my gosh, I will go in deeper. Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Remember to keep it civil and friendly. That's all I will say regarding the yes.
Yeah.
I'm only hardcore when they're not doing the work.
And she is hardcore when you're not doing.
But he's the twin. He doesn't necessarily know the connection, so you can't.
Oh, to you guys. Oh no, I cuss you out. You know this. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's equal. I cuss them. I cuss you.
That's like them
I
people.
cuss
That's
them.
like them people that say they're not racist because they hate everybody.
Yeah.
It's like that same kind of logic.
Mhm.
Like,
Heard that
bandwidth is low.
Okay, yeah, it's stable now.
What's that? Have you been buying dodgy internet again, Erica?
Yeah.
Like what?
I live out here in the
You're big
country.
on the big on the community, and you got the 4G, not the 5G internet. What?
Yeah, but with 5D.
Listen, upgrade that thing.
You know, I'm trying really hard, but we live out here in the country, so our internet's pretty slow. Yeah, that's why it takes forever to upload videos. I have to take almost a day.
So maybe it was Erica's computer that messed us up with the sound. Maybe it wasn't even us being retarded with computers. Maybe it was literally Erica. Like, okay.
No, we clicked the button.
That did work.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was with us.
So I helped you out. So guys,
With your pantomime.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, with your ventriloquism when you were doing all the pointing, like. Yeah.
Well, I'll make sure that that won't make the video. That definitely won't make.
Gang stuff.
Yeah. Edit that part, okay?
That was because she.
Listen, I still think it's good to just put whatever even if you're making mistakes, put it in. It's to try to show people that, say other people, like a lot of people in the council, they want to do their own YouTube, they want to do their own videos. It's telling people, look, just, you know, not everybody's perfect, and sometimes making mistakes isn't anything wrong with it. So, you know, put the video on however it is, however it comes across. Yeah. But I've managed to make sure that I tell people that we were a bit, different with our technical difficulties.
We'll know what to do for next time if we did this next time.
Yeah, I'm just going to get a telephone and go, all right, love.
He's mad. And I.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for being on Elevation Time today. You guys have been fantastic. I cannot wait till the community gets to see this video and to hopefully book you guys because your program works, Sophia.
Hopefully not too much cussing, yeah, because I get enough of it already.
You know, that works though, David. I'm sorry. It works.
That thing, please.
She's in the country.
Well, listen, you need to move then, okay? Because the community
Oh my
needs
God.
you. Listen, if the community needs you, what are you going to do in the countryside if they can't communicate with you? How's she going to come closer when she can't communicate with you? Yeah, okay. Oh, well, okay, well, yes. UK bound?
Come over here.
Yes.
Well, I'll go visit there. Cool.
London, we good. The police aren't that bad. Yes. Okay,
Colorado's
that's a whole
fantastic.
different-
It's
That's
beautiful.
like maybe that next question.
It's beautiful here. You should come. You guys should come to
We
visit.
will come.
Yeah.
We will.
But
Okay.
how are we gonna make videos if we can't get internet to make them?
Is this the first one you've done of this?
Uh,
Actually, is this the first?
you are the first because one, you are the
Oh.
creator of the community. Next up is Tim Green and
What?
yes, ma'am.
Is he going to do it with Aaron or just
He's gonna
him?
do it with
I
Aaron.
would like to see that. But really, that's so cool.
Mhm.
Oh wow! I'll watch. Will you send it to me? Because I'm not part of the.
We were first.
Oh my god. Oh, do you put it on your channel after, or is it just when you're in the Zoom?
When I
Oh, so-
help afterwards. Hmm.
Oh, wicked. That's cool. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I need to figure out this Zoom stuff. Like,
Yeah, we have to.
It would be nice to come into one of your meetings one day. You know, like one of the weeks to
Yeah, that's what he wants to do. Go
Listen,
into more.
I said I'd like to come into the meeting, right? But under certain conditions, like I don't get asked 1,000 questions
They
throughout the whole
will.
meet. Wait,
You know they
Wait.
will.
You will be
it'd be
bombarded.
nice to experience it.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
If you come into the room, they're gonna ask you questions, and
So- Just to say, you guys understand the art of encouraging people to do stuff, right?
well, I
Yeah,
want to be in my
you studied
truth.
that course. When you encourage people, you don't say to them, yes, that's exactly what's going to happen, and you're going to be
Oh,
left out.
yeah.
If you go into the meetings. So now I'm like, yeah, well, I'm going to
You're not going to meet now.
Well, I just finished up phase 2 of the Twin Flame Peer Support. Phase 3, I will announce on the 29th of February, and those support meetings will start in the first week of April.
amazing.
Oh.
So I started out with the one group, then phase 2 was 2 groups, and phase 3 is going to be 3, maybe 4 groups, but smaller.
Wow.
So soon you're going to have to literally create a business to get people to run it.
That would be great.
This is the business.
But that's what I explain. Like the
Mm.
more groups she's going to do,
Yeah.
she's not going to be able to like, you know, hold 100 groups. You're going to have people that are going to have to help you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the intention. That's mission.
Well,
Yeah, remember when you get successful over there, right? You
Oh my
remember
God.
who you kind of like
Yeah.
little push.
yeah, maybe the universe will bring my twin on. Who knows?
Yeah, that is the intention. It's kind of it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Mhm.
When you start mission and you start working yourself, it's supposed to be. Because I wouldn't never thought you'll be doing this with me.
No, that's for sure.
See what I mean?
David's like, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, fresh you. Big up, Rude.
Yes.
I'm not amazing, like I said, with all these video you know, channels and recording and all that kind of thing. I think, like I said, it is coming out of your comfort zone. But just remember, when I counsel you and I tell people to kind of go out of their comfort zones, it isn't just you I'm talking about, it's myself included, okay? I have to do the same principles, you know?
Mhm.
So I think hopefully it's trying to prove a point to people. It's not even proving a point. Hopefully it encourages people to have to do the same kind of principle.
Mhm.
And being their truth. I'm definitely coming up with different work. I can affect the rest of the day.
You just think of something for your channel
Yes.
if you're gonna be. But hopefully you'll be on the community one, right? Doing some cards.
Yes.
Yeah, he's gonna try to
That's
come
gonna
on
be awesome.
my chat and do some cards. That'd be wicked, wouldn't it? Yeah.
If
Absolutely.
you think Sophia classes, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because
You
remember,
got us in the videos.
counselling is counselling where I'm not necessarily going to put across
Oh.
my opinion, but tarot reading is your thing entirely.
Mm.
So yes, I
You're gonna
apologize. Watch this space. Yes,
Mm.
I might. Yes, Sergeant Major kind of cuss, but maybe more severe than you.
That's an impossibility.
That is impossible.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. We'll let Erica get on.
Yes, Erica,
Thank you.
stop wasting your time.
Oh, what?
I'm speaking to us. She
Oh,
needs to get
we'll
on.
let you go. And thank you so much
She needs to
for
upgrade
this
the internet connection.
interview.
Thanks, David.
Yeah. Go upgrade.
If you ever
the
need
internet.
a comedian like on your
Oh
channel at
my
any point, then you
God.
know who to give a shout out to.
Don't watch it. Okay.
You guys are great. Thank you so much for doing this video. I think it's going to be so amazing for the community to see you guys in a different light and see that you are real and that you go through a lot of the same challenges that we go through. But you guys are so amazing.
As I said, no makeup, yeah? That's 100%.
I'm always like this, though.
I'm not even trying to comparison. See, you took it as a comparison.
No,
I'm
I
just saying
mean,
to
like, I'm
people, like,
always.
don't worry, you can roll out.
Yeah.
No effort. It's fine. It's the message that's important, not the look.
Absolutely.